Alright, welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we're taking a look at the most recent article about the KILLZONE NACHMUND Terrain, and then also a little bit about the Sorcerer, or Aspiring Sorcerer. So before we jump right in, if you like Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, necromunda, Age of Sigmar, or warcry content, make sure to like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel out, and gets the word out there. Share it with your friends if you like. That being said, let's jump right in. Create cinematic movie moments with Kill Team, NACHMUND's interactive kill zone. So we know obviously Kill Team NACHMUND is on the way, and there are some special rules for the missions and terrain. Let's take a look at what those are. We love terrain, but did you know we love more? Terrain that does stuff. Take Kill Team NACHMUND coming to pre-order this Saturday. For example, sure, it's fun to fight around crusty old machinery, but wouldn't it be more fun if you could use it to belch toxic smoke in your opponent's face? So here we see a nice little picture of all the terrain included in the Kill Team NACHMUND set. It is all Sector Mechanicus terrain, all previously available, but bundled up here nicely for quite a bit of terrain and a different look for our Kill Team kill zones. In fact, this is one of the most interactive kill zones we've ever seen. Pieces like the Smog Stack can turn safe areas into risky obstacles at the worst possible time, forcing commanders to decide whether they need to push ahead and prioritize the mission or spend precious time shutting off an environmental hazard. So here we see first the Smog Stack. All parts of a toxic Smog Stack terrain feature have the heavy and toxic smog traits. So knowing that it has the heavy feature, obviously pretty big for blocking line of sight and providing cover, but the toxic smog rule at the start of each turning point, if the terrain feature is not belching out toxic smog, roll a d6. On a 5+, this terrain feature starts belching out toxic smog. So realistically, your average game, 4 turns, this thing's going to turn on a 33% chance, every turn. So it's going to turn on at least once during the game with probability. While an operative is within blue square of this terrain feature, if this terrain feature is belching out toxic smoke, subtract 1 from the defense characteristic of that operative. So obviously if you're within 3 inches of this thing, which is a pretty big size, you're going to subtract 1 from your defense dice. So it could be good for obscuring line of sight or stopping people from shooting at you if you have like a conceal order or something like that. However, if someone is able to see you or shoot you, taking away 1 defense dice is a pretty big deal, because that is going to highly increase the amount of damage you take if you are shot at. Operatives can remove toxic smog by performing the shut-off stack action. Shut-off stack 1 AP. An operative can perform this action while within the black triangle or 1 inch of a terrain feature that has toxic smog trait. That terrain feature stops belching out toxic smog, loses the toxic smog trait. An operative cannot perform this action while within engagement range of an enemy operative. So basically, you have the option to shut this off. It loses the toxic smog trait, so that is permanently, but it does cost you 1 AP. So have the ability to basically move up to one of these things and just take the toxic smog trait off of it completely. Want to get one over on the ruinous powers? Try baiting the murderous, axe-swinging butcher into a smog cloud with a weaker operative, then shred him with shurikens once these fumes have stripped away his critical defense point. Or, if melee is your preference, a teleporting Corsair Shade Runner can slice him up with a lingering in the smog. Not every industrial cloud is a choking hazard. Exhaust vents pump out harmless fumes, not only charging through the plume of smoke, extremely cool and dramatic. It's an easy way to grant cover to vulnerable operatives. Standing right in the cloud offers protection without compromising mobility, letting cannery comrades use exhaust vents to sneak their close combat troops up close in relative safety. So we see the exhaust vent. All parts of an exhaust vent terrain feature have light, traversable, and exhaust vent traits. So providing a little bit of cover, easy to jump over, but they have an exhaust vent special rule. This terrain feature creates an area of smoke horizontally, a circle horizontally from it, and to an unlimited upward height. So it's basically a smoke grenade essentially. It has the white circle so horizontally from it. So I'm assuming that's from the outside of it, like the actual like surrounding like circle portion of it, and then it would go 2 inches out from it. So I think this thing is 1 inch. I would have to double check the size of it, but I think it's maybe 1 inch, maybe slightly more because of the rounded pieces right there. So it's roughly about like a 2.5 to 3 inch area. An operative is not visible if a cover line drawn to it crosses into and out of an area of smoke. While an operative is within an area of smoke, it is treated as being in cover. Operatives can remove this area of smoke by performing a close event option. So this actually blocks visibility or line of sight, which is important because you obviously can't be shot by things like a marker light, etc. So that is definitely interesting. And if it's within an area of smoke, it is treated as being in cover. And then the close vent action is 1 AP. An operative can perform this action while within black triangle or 1 inch of a terrain feature that has the exhaust vent trait. That terrain feature stops creating an area of smoke and loses the exhaust vent trait. An operative cannot perform this action while within engagement range of enemy operatives. So again, shuts off the exhaust vent. And the exhaust vent, unlike the smokestack belching out the toxic fumes, this is just always on until you close it off. So that's like right off the beginning of the game. You have to obviously keep that in mind. It's like a big, pillar of smoke. Some of the opportunities afforded by terrain don't involve blasting shots across the kill zone. Hatches are treasure troves of loot and intel in narrative play. For instance, so it says in narrative play. So this might not be relevant to most people. Having an operative duck underground in the heat of battle might lose you a little firepower, but the prizes they find can pay off in the long run. As much as the mission itself, Corsairs can even use their free dash to skedaddle with the loot. I wonder if all these are going to be... Well, they didn't mention narrative play on all the rest of them, so let's hope that some of these will be actually interactive in, regular games, match play, etc. So the hatch, all parts of the hatch terrain feature have a small explorable trait. So we see obviously the hatch here. Small operatives can move across it over the terrain feature as if it were not there, but cannot set up or finish a move on top of it. Explorable, an operative can explore a hatch by performing an explore underground action. So 1 AP, explore underground. An operative can perform this action in narrative play while within black triangle or 1 inch of a terrain feature that has the explorable trait. The operative gains 1 XP and the terrain feature has been explored. An operative cannot perform this action while within engagement range of an enemy operative or if a terrain feature has already been explored. So it does say during narrative play on these, so I'm assuming these are narrative only and the other ones are irregular. Several of the 9 new missions in Kill Team Nachmund add even more ways to use the terrain. Destroy the substation challenges an attacking team of operatives to use the energy overload action on the power relay substation at any cost. We wonder if their commanders have told them. A blow up in their faces. We wonder. I'm retarded. We wonder. Just kidding. Power relay substation. A power relay substation includes a part with the power course trait. All parts of it have the light and traversable. Man, there's so many errors in this. Traits. I'm assuming that it's supposed to say traits there. But yeah, so power relay substation has the power cores trait. So energy overload. So these are probably like mission actions, it sounds like. Energy overload 2 AP. An operative can perform this action while within 1 inch of the power relay substation. Terrain features power cores. The power relay substation is overloaded and destroyed. So obviously these are the power cores that can be removed on the actual terrain piece. Each operative within black triangle or 1 inch of that terrain feature suffers a D3 mortal wounds. The terrain feature loses all traits apart from light and traversable. All parts of it have the light and traversable traits. Loses all parts of... Okay, so I'm not sure what the other feature would be. I guess maybe if we continue on down here, they have like extra rules for the power cores. So for 2 AP, you can overload this thing, and it does a D3 mortal wounds to anybody within an inch of the entire terrain feature. So that could be pretty good. If a enemy has a bunch of people like clustered up around it, you could like run up a 3 APL guy, move him up there, pop that bad boy, and hurt a bunch of guys. It's cool. I mean, obviously, if you're completing a mission action, that's crucial. Some people can complete mission actions for 1 less AP. And it doesn't appear that there are any criteria that stop you from doing this if you're within engagement range, like with some of the other ones. It just says if you're within an inch of it. So, interesting. If keeping your opponents from charging their Aeldari smartphones isn't your cup of tea, oh man. Valuable power cores can be extracted in any game mode. Okay, that's cool. And used to barter for extra support from high command. Get a good roll and they'll recharge you with a free command point, just in time to praise the dark gods with the later gameplay when other options have run dry. So here we have the power cores once again. Power cores operatives can salvage resources from the terrain feature by performing the salvage power core action. So this is for 1 AP. An operative can perform this action within 1 triangle 1 inch of a part of the terrain feature that has the power cores trait. Roll 1d6. On a 3+, a viable power core is salvaged. You gain 1 command point and the terrain feature loses the power cores trait. An operative cannot perform this action while within engagement range of an enemy operative. So basically, the first time someone succeeds on this, it's no longer able to be done. But on a 3+, you gain 1 command point, and then it loses that ability. So that is pretty cool. So it looks like you could either do one or the other. So if you have a power relay substation, you could either energy overload it and blow it up, doing mortal wounds, or you could salvage power core and gain a potential command point. This one happens regardless. This one happens on a 3-up roll, but either way, it loses the power core trait. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So definitely a little difference there. Set your coolest action movie moments from the new Killzone. So pre-order your Kill Team Nachmund this Saturday and cook up some awesome missions for your operatives. Don't forget to post them on Facebook. So it looks like all of these, except for the hatch, will be viable in any game mode, because it is the only one that mentions narrative play, and it gives you XP, which is obviously useless in match play. But overall, pretty cool. I like it. Some, interactive terrain is always cool. A little extra something different. I'd like to see at some point in time they do an indoor game board again and bring back the doors so we can start using some of our older stuff, including like the Pariah Nexus boards and everything like that. If you are into Kill Team and you haven't checked out the Pariah Nexus stuff that we made, basically designed some 3D printable bits that will turn all of the like view stopping or line of sight blocking bits into actual like Necron terrain that are 3-dimensionally on the board. So it's not just like doors and then some drawings on the actual 2-dimensional board, but there's actual piece of terrain that go there. It's all painted up and done, and pretty cool overall. It definitely takes that game board to the next level, but I'm looking forward to the indoor stuff. Let me know what you think of these rules, what you think of the Kill Team. I've obviously taken quite a look at these and seen a bunch of different rules. I've seen a bunch about the kill zone itself, and knew there was going to be some new rules to interact with the terrain, but overall looks pretty good. There is one more small article we're going to go ahead and take a look at as well while we're here. Fancy playing pinball with an orb of demonic flame? Meet the Balefire Acolyte. So again, obviously this is our new little sorcerer guy from the Chaos team. With Kill Team Nachmund up for pre-order in mere days, you're probably getting fired up to try out the Legionary and Voidscarred kill teams. Whichever one you choose, you'll want to keep the Balefire Acolyte in mind, while stone cold killers like the Legionary Butcher are perfect for chopping up even the scariest Voidscarred operatives. Sometimes you just want to watch the enemy burn. Very cool model. I really like this. I love the book on the chains on the back, the skulls. I love that he's like holding the little fire in his hand, and then obviously the dagger as well. And then the head is pretty cool too. He's got like some pretty cool like scar burn stuff going on there. Hey, if your lips were that chapped, you'd probably be cranky too. Man, whoever writes these is just absolutely horrible. I mean, their comedy is like, I don't know if they're going for this or not, but it's like terrible dad humor. Since moisturizing products are so hard to come by in the grim darkness of the far future, the Balefire Acolyte is forced to take his frustration out on rival kill teams. As the name suggests, as the model makes abundantly clear, this legionary's weapon of choice is a literal hellfire. Yeah, pretty cool model. I definitely like this. I'm a big fan of these. Balefire Acolytes are budding sorcerers, offering flexible psychic support with the choice of 3 different powers. Malign Influence is a boon to friendly legionary operatives, making their weapons far more deadly. So we don't know what that is. Maybe it does more damage. Maybe it crits on like a 5 instead of 6. Who knows? While Life Siphon allows you to heal your allies by sucking the souls from your foes. So maybe that one does like some mortal wounds to nearby enemies and then transfers life to your guys. So this guy is, kind of a sorcerer / medic in many ways. Pretty cool. Again, complete speculation on those. I have no idea. These are both solid choices in the right circumstances, but you know that they're always welcome additional to the battlefield, a big old Fire Blast. So here we have Fire Blast perform a free shoot action using the following ranged weapon. So obviously if he does this, he cannot shoot a regular gun. This would take up his shoot action. Attacks 4, ballistic skill 3+, damage 3/4. Special rules are no cover and blast circle. So 2-inch radius, 4-inch blast. That could be pretty good. A large area, you probably hit at least 2 guys. It has splash 1, so mortal wounds can be splashed out from this on critical hits. So definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. So if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if we've seen anything with blast splash yet, but the way I would understand that is, if the blast is a 4-inch template, and then anybody within 2 inches of someone hit with a critical hit, so it would be measured, I think, from the guy that you're hitting with the blast. So the way you position the blast, obviously, or the way a guy's positioned towards that guy, yeah, that's pretty interesting. So you could have essentially up to like a 6-inch blast with this thing almost, because you're going to splash out like 1 extra damage on nearby guys. Now obviously it's not as potent, but hitting somebody with like 4 critical damage and doing an extra damage to someone nearby, potentially hitting like 2, 3, 4 guys could do some decent damage. So interesting. Decent little psychic power there. The stats are solid for a shooting attack, about the same as a bolt gun, but cast your eyes downward at those special rules. No cover means you can incinerate enemies who are trying to hunker down, even sneaky Eldari who think they have dashed safely into cover. Blast will help you take out cluster of foes, as every operative within 2 inches of your victim also suffers the attack. Yeah, so within 2 inches of the victim. So if you position the blast in a way, really it just depends how your enemies are positioned. Splash 1 is a flaming cherry on top. For each critical hit you retain, both the target and every operative within 2 inches takes an extra mortal wound. Interesting. Man, is that right? I may be mistaken on this, but I was under the impression that splash did not affect the initial target. I could be wrong about that though. I mean, I guess I'm wrong about that. I might be thinking of something else. So, okay, so it does hit the initial target. So that will take your crits up from 4 to 5, and then everybody else within 2 inches would take an extra 1. So that is pretty cool. See where this is going. Toss a fire blast at a group of operatives who are huddled up behind a wall, and your burning pinball could wipe out every single one as it bounces between hapless hostiles. Throw in the mark of Tzeentch, always a fine choice for those sorceress types, and you'll be able to score a critical hit on a 5 or 6. So yeah, with the mark of Tzeentch, you would basically be scoring a crit on a 5 or 6. So that could be pretty awesome. Obviously increasing the amount of mortal wounds you do, because, you know, with realistically 4 shots hitting on 3 and the critical on 5 or 6, you know, you would assume that there's pretty good chance that you're going to get 2 crits on a 5 or 6 with 4 shots. So you basically would do, you know, a potential of 8 critical hit damage plus, you know, an extra 2 splash damage to that guy and everybody else around. And then you have a regular hit also on top of that. You have no cover, so they're basically just rolling to save. So this would pretty well like smoke anybody with like a 5-up save pretty easily. Yeah, if you have like basically a 5-up save and, you know, 8 or less, 10 or less hit points, you're probably going to get smoked by this. So pretty strong, pretty strong. No doubt you'll want to cast Fire Blast as often as possible, but Malign Influence and Life Siphon don't need to feel left out. There are a couple of pieces of equipment that'll let you activate an extra psychic power in a turn. Sure, you might eat a handful of mortal wounds from an overdose of dark power, but it's worth the risk to smoke some juicy targets while you empower or heal your legionary comrades in their quest for adequate skincare. Okay, again with the jokes. Getting excited for Kill Team Nachmund? Check out. Yeah, okay. So anyway, that is pretty cool. Also mentioned there as well. So allow you basically have an equipment. It's probably going to be a one-time use only, as we've seen with some of the other equipment, and then allows you to cast a second psychic power. So that is pretty cool. So you could obviously shoot this and then do one of the other ones, either empower or life siphon. Oh, malign influence. Yeah, that's it. Malign influence to empower your bros. So that's pretty cool. And then it says you eat a handful of mortal wounds. So it's probably like you take a D3 mortal wounds, but you can cast a second psychic power. So that's pretty cool. I mean, especially on a marine operative, because you're normally going to be able to use 3 AP. So having the ability to cast an extra psychic power gives you like 4 AP for the turn, basically. Now, obviously, 2 of those would be spent on psychic powers. But, you know, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Yeah, definitely liking that. Interested to see what the Corsair does also. Very cool, though. He looks like he's going to be an auto-include for any one of these skill teams. And probably, you know, if you take him, obviously Tzeentch is going to be pretty good. Now, if you do take Tzeentch, obviously, you're not going to be able to take any Khorne bros. So that's where you have to really start looking at the balance of the kill team and the way you set it up. So, but that's it for today. Just wanted to take a look at the most recent kill team articles. Definitely looks like the operatives are going to be fun. Both bespoke teams should be pretty awesome. The models look cool. The set looks cool. Unfortunately, the price increase is a little more than we intended or hoped, and kind of sucks. But it is what it is. Got to just move on from it. Decide for yourself if it's worth it or not. I will definitely be picking up this kit. I'm looking forward to it for the additional rules. Should be fun. Should be some cool missions in there as well. And then obviously the number one thing is the cool new kill teams. So I will definitely be doing some painting tutorials on the kill teams as well. Let me know if you're excited to see those, and if there are any particular factions or legions you would like to see the Chaos Marines painted in. I'm decided on the Aeldari myself, because they will probably match my larger Warhammer 40,000 army that I will build. So, but that's it for today. Let me know what you think. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man. If you enjoy this kind of news, reactions, reviews, anything from unboxing to seeing our commissions as they come out of the studio, and then of course all types of tutorials for painting, modeling, magnetization, and lighting, make sure to like and subscribe for daily videos. Most days, multiple daily videos. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm at it here.